Not gonna join them? Caleb asked as I walked over to where he was leaning against a pole. Nah, I'm still tired after practice earlier. Don't feel like following them around in a shop, I chuckled, sitting on a railing between the shops and the car park. Looking back at the shop, I smiled at seeing Nishikana-senpai and Miyagawa-senpai with my best friend, browsing through various things they wouldn't normally be able to find in Japan. I glanced over at Caleb, noticing his gaze trailing Lily as she talked to my senpais about something she had picked up, his expression almost absent, as if his mind was wandering. Jeez, I go for half a year and you fall for my best friend? I teased. He blinked, looking over at me, before sighing and smiling. Ever the observant one. He looked back towards Lily, a warm smile still present on his face, though maybe I was just better at hiding it before. I chuckled. Maybe. There was a pause for a few seconds, before Caleb continued. Please don't tell her though. Not like I have much of a chance anyway. I won't, but I do think you're wrong about not having a chance. You think? This is Lily we're talking about. She blocks out most people who try to get close to her. Except for you and me. The fact that it's Lily is exactly why I think you have a chance. It's not like you're aiming for the student council president or something, I smirked. And yet the student council president I know is aiming for me. He glanced my way, chuckling. Do we even have a student council? I know we have the student president and the junior student president, but I've never heard the term student council outside of anime. I don't bloody know, I'm just giving it an example, I retorted, laughing. He laughed as well, though his expression faded slightly as he looked at me. What's with that look? I asked. Sorry, I know how you feel about this stuff, he responded, treading carefully with his words. Jeez, even if I don't want to fall in love, it doesn't mean I don't want others to, I said quietly, looking down. Caleb quietly came over to my side, sitting next to me. How you going? I figured you might have become a bit better while living in Japan, he inquired, resting his hand on my back. I looked towards Nishikana-senpai, who had a look of intrigue as she investigated something in the shop. I don't think it's that easy. Caleb followed my gaze, before a small smile returned to his face. You and Nishikana seem pretty close. I've seen the way she looks at you, and how you act around her. Now who's the observant one? I managed a half-hearted joke. Senpai is in love with me, but I can't return her feelings. Yet you lead her on, despite it being one-sided? I don't think that's the sort of person you are, Kira, he stated. She's aware that I can't love her back, but she's lonely. So the least I can do is let her have this. It's more likely that she believes she can heal you. I stayed quiet. He was right. I knew that. She wanted to help me love her. She knew full well that deep down I did want to love her. She just wasn't aware of the reason I couldn't. Have you told her? He asked quietly. What he was referring to was obvious to me. Caleb and Lily are the only two who know about it. I shook my head. It'll only make her worry. She doesn't need to know that about my past. Kira, you need to care for yourself more, instead of just taking care of others, he whispered, getting off the railing and pulling me into a light hug. You can't stop people from worrying about you. I let out a small sigh, putting my arms around my friend's back as I rested my head on his chest. I could feel the small smile coming back to Caleb's face. You know, I think you have healed. Just a little bit. Even if you haven't noticed yet, he whispered, pulling away from me. Have I? I guess, in a way. I wouldn't have let Senpai get as close to me in the past. Kira, you can't let one bad experience prevent you from trying again. You have to move on. For your sake, and for Ririko's, he quietly said. Can I? Is it actually possible? Still giving me a gentle smile, he leaned in and gave me a small kiss on my forehead, hugging me gently once more. I wanted to tell you that before you left, but back then you wouldn't have listened to me. I know you didn't want to hear it, but you really need to give yourself another chance, Kira. Kira-chan, look at this! Senpai's voice interrupted my thoughts as I pulled away from Caleb. Another chance?